Okay, this is my education experience video. So starting off, I attended a public school from K through 12, and it was located in the suburbs, so in the middle of a large population, a large area, I should say, not population. But to put it into perspective, well, for the people who know where Macomb is, I went to Chippewa Valley High School, and it's in Macomb County in Clinton Township, Michigan. And so, if you know anything about that, it's a pretty large school. So our district in itself is absolutely gigantic. Our sister high school has like double the graduating class that we do, and my class was about 550 to 600. So it was very large, and then our sister high school is double that. So our community is very large and very diverse. My K through 12 education definitely did not help shape secondary education for college. Like I feel like in middle school they always said like, oh, you have to get ready for I should start in 5th grade. In 5th grade, they're always like, oh yeah, like we are preparing you for middle school, like get ready, it's gonna be hard. And then we get to middle school and it was like, oh, easy peasy lemon squeezy, it was fine. And then middle school going to high school, we're like, they're always saying like their teachers are like, oh yep, get ready, high school's a big challenge. And like although it was a challenge, it wasn't educationally a challenge. Instead it was like a personal, like trying to get used to like being around those younger or those older students and people who are like starting different like chapters of their lives. So I think like that was the biggest change. But then in like 12th grade, being a senior, I was like, all these teachers are saying, oh, like, you got to get ready for college and giving us all these assignments and, oh, it's preparing you for college. And it's literally not prepared me at all. So this is like a whole learning curve to me because everything is very different in college than it is in high school. And so education based, I don't think that they did that great of a job, but I think also like lifestyle wise and like personally, they did not prepare me to go to college at all, which is like partially not their fault because it's not necessarily their job, but just throwing that in there. I don't think that I was necessarily as prepared as I could have been. 3 things that I wish I had learned more about in my education growing up. Probably just more like realistic and new to the times type of things, because I feel like we're always so used to like, I'm sure you have all heard this before, but we're so used to like looking in the same textbooks that they've had for like 20 years and if not more, and learning the same information. And I know when I talked to my group this past week, we talked about how outdated the information is that we learn in school. And so I think that's like one of the biggest things. And like that can obviously branch off into like 3 different things that I wish I would have learned. But just like an umbrella term is just like things that are more like current and new to the times. So yeah, and if I was given an opportunity to advocate for a change in my school district, 3 things. Okay, so I would probably say like obviously the outdated information and maybe like even changing like the technology to get more up to date. Like everything's so electronic now that carrying a 5-pound textbook is not necessarily ideal. And like the laptops that we use that die like every week or not every week, like every hour, they're so bad. Like just things like that, like it'd make our education like so much better if we had like things that were actually up to date and new and working. And then the other thing would be like mental health, like making that more prominent and heard, because I feel like for so much of my time in high school, it was like ignored and pretend like it wasn't there. And it's so important to know that it is there and that there's people to support us. And although they say, oh, yep, go to our counseling office has 200 kids, if not more. No, it's definitely more than that because there's like 2,000 people in my high school and we have 4 counselors. So 500 kids for each like counselor. Obviously that's not realistic. Like they do not personally care about you specific. So I think like people just didn't even think about doing that because they're like, we're just one of many. So fixing that, making that better and more like obtainable for the students. 3 biggest issues in American educational system, probably the things that we talked about in class with like diversity and being like very accepting of people and accepting cultures, like different cultures, and just being more accepting in general. I mean, once again, kind of an umbrella term, not necessarily 3 things, but umbrella, like just becoming just accepting everyone for who they are regardless, and you're there to go to school with them, and you're not there to be their best friend, and like there's no reason to like cause problems for all these different reasons when you're just there to get an education. Like go to class and go home and go about your day. What role should government play in education system? I think that a lot should change, and there should be a lot more strict laws and things like that to be able to obtain a better like education system in general. If they create laws that make schools have these changes, then there's no reason for the schools to not be up to date, not have good technology, not be noticing mental health, and not being inclusive and being accepting. Like, I just feel like as a whole, like the government literally holds the standard of what education systems should look like, and they're not really like encouraging that. So that's my spiel. I'm sorry it's kind of long, but I can get on a tangent.